Oh, very nice. Good evening, everybody. How are we all? Hoping this time I'll finally finish it. Lovely content, mate. Thank you. Put on the cape. Nah. Not tonight. Hate this game. Ruined me back in 2013. Oh really? Yeah, I'm at the very end of it now. I just need to finish it. That's what I'm on here for. I've been trying to complete it now for what, 3 days? This is day number 4. Just want to get out of the way at this point. So. What's your Steam name, Count? It's the same on here. My name is the same on every platform, Count Daedalus. Need to turn the sound down. Make me go deaf. Bollocks. This game's only scared me a couple of times, like a handful. Like a handful. Otherwise... I was playing Slender yesterday, just to end. No bollocks. Yeah, yesterday I ended the night with Slender, and that really scared the bejesus out of me. I'm more scared of Slender than I am of this. Howdy, Zippy. How are you? Good to see you. We're going to finish this today, hopefully. And then who knows, I might entertain you all with Slender again. I'm good, thanks. You? Yeah, I'm pretty good. I've got a 4-day weekend. I'm over the moon. In 3 of those days I'm going away. And my camera's still broken. Okay, fuck. Oh, fuck me and dropped from heights. That's a fear right there. I'm starting to feel sorry for this character. This man. He's had a rough night. Protect the camera at all costs. Jesus. It's going to have major PTSD by the end of this. Was that supposed to happen? I guess so. Sims 4. Yeah, I'm really fucked now. Oh, have I got a hobble the entire way now? I should give the poor bastard credit. He was dropped from like 100 feet. Come on, stay alive. Stay alive, mate, come on. It's just a flesh wound. All you need is a wet paper towel. That's what they told me in school. Wet paper towel fixes everything. Has he been possessed? Oh shit. What the fuck? After all that?
Gott in Himmel. You have become the host.
Jesus, God!
What is that thing?
After all that, and you get killed. Well, that was anticlimactic. Didn't even get to escape. I'm even more baffled at the fact that how close I was to the end when I decided to stop. I could have literally finished that last night. Congratulations, thank you. You're playing DLC too? There's DLC? Well, there's still the whistleblower. $7.49. What game next? I don't know. I wasn't expecting it to be done so soon. Sophie, you weren't joking when you said it was going to be 5-10 minutes. I actually have 5 or 10 minutes left. It wasn't even. We're only 12 minutes in. I'm actually an idiot. I'm actually an idiot. I closed the stream by accident. Only I could do something so silly. And the thing is, now I haven't got a clue who's on and who isn't. How do we still Wakes the Deep? I haven't. Still Wakes the Deep is a 2024 psychological horror video game developed by the Chinese Room and published by Secret Man. Oh, bloody hell. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. Play Outlast Whistleblower, it's a prequel. Trouble is, as I've learned, any attempt at downloading anything through Steam, it immediately kills the stream. You know what? I'm going to try it again. I'm going to try and do what I did yesterday. And this time, I'm going to actually try and win. Okay, a long time no see. The Wilkinator. How the devil are you? I'm going to try and actually do it this time and not scream. But somehow, I don't think I'll do it. How are you anyway? How are you anyway, Wilkinator? How the devil is? I like my phone. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What game is this? Slender, the 8 pages. I need to get Slender, the Arrival. I've had a bunch of you saying that I should get that. So cancer, horrible stuff. Lots of voted for. Fair enough. Let's try Outlast 2 if you get the chance. It's on my list. I've got quite a few games on my list for streaming. But really, what I need to do before I do any more gaming streams after this is upload the last 4 onto YouTube so people can rewatch them. Oh God. I'm not ready for this. I am not ready for this at all. Did not expect to see anyone playing Slender Man on my FYP. I love it. Yeah, I'm not going to love it in a minute. Oh, another one. Oh, he's there. Fuck. Where's that fucking... Where's that pipe? It's usually around here, isn't it? Oh, Jesus! Okay. Okay. Oh, for God's sake, man. I love and hate this game so much at the exact same time. That's... Fuck off! No! No. No. Jesus Christ, on a trampoline. What is it about human beings who like watching other human beings suffer? That's what I want to know. Where's he gone? Oh God. Politics final boss versus Skinny. Oh, fucking fence. I always get lost in this game. The fucking fog doesn't help either. What are your thoughts on the police? I could do some police out here. I'm being followed by a very suspicious man. Will we see any more space videos? Of course we will. It's my favourite subject. Also, hi Joris Bonson. Long time no see. Loving these lives, man. Keep it up. I'll try my best. Thing is, I need to balance out live with actually making videos. Because I've done a lot of lives this week. Done one every day. Playing games. But I haven't done any content. I love the horror game, guys. I certainly don't. Especially this one. Don't get me wrong, Outlast freaked me out sometimes, but this one just sets my teeth on edge. Please let there be one on here. Yes! Oh. Cock. You should play Starfield. I haven't heard anything good about Starfield. Apparently it was a bit of a disappointment. I could watch this guy peeling onions, to be honest. It's just so interesting and entertaining. Where is he? Ah. There's the tube. There's the pipe. Yes. Another one. What was I got up to last night? 5. Oh, I don't know where he is. Why don't you upload your gaming videos to YouTube? I'm going to. I'm going to upload all of the lives there. Once the I need to download them all. And then I'm going to upload them one by one. A fucking fence again! Games where you can't fight back is just terrifying. I agree. The forest is another pretty good... I don't like forests. I think that's also what scares the shit out of me about this game. The fact that it's in a dark forest. Right? I don't do dark forests. What is this game? Slender. The 8 pages. Oh, fucking hell. I'm going to give myself a heart attack playing this game. We should mod the game for him so he could walk around with a lightsaber. Well, I said yesterday the worst thing you could do to me is mod this game so that instead of the jump scare, he's just blasting Wonderwall. That's probably the worst thing you could do to me. This fog needs to fuck... Oh, I'm back here again. Going round in circles. Oh, hang on. Cheers, Camp, for the scare. No worries. He's right behind me, isn't he? No, he's not. Oh, God. You remind me of Mark. Oh, not you as well. I hate being compared to other people. People wonder why I won't ever watch that. Because all I'm ever going to see is just, that's the guy everyone thinks that I am. That I remind everyone of. Getting pretty persistent. Trouble is I get lost so easy. Oh, there's got to be one here. Has to be. Yes! Oh, fuck a duck. What is the law of collecting the pages of Slenderman? I don't actually know. I never bothered to find out. I think maybe someone got lost. Or abducted. Something like that. Yeah, I don't care what anyone says, this is way scarier than Outlast. At least for me. No! No, 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 no. Cow, will you come to the Bronx? Mate, you're in Reading. It's tied to Slender the Arrival. Is it really? All the more reason to get Slender the Arrival. I need to at some point, because everyone's always recommending it to me. And Amnesia for some reason. Fucking fence! Oh, another one. 6, new record. Back of the fucking tankers again. Oh, the torch is dying. Not the tankers. It's all over. The torch is dying. It is what it is. It's all for shits and giggles, eh? Stay away from me! Oh, fuck. Is that ever not going to scare the shit out of me? Ah, bollocks. Right. Also, there's a YouTube series and there's other vlogs. Yeah. Hey. Well. 6. Not too bad, I suppose. It's kind of like looking for a needle in a haystack. Yeah, I need to get back into the videos. I've been slacking. Any other games tonight? I don't know. Like I say, I wasn't expected to finish Outlast so quickly. How are you? I'm not too bad, Dan. How the devil are you? How's life treating you? Not too bad. Did you go to uni? No, I didn't. I deliberately avoided it. Did TikTok ever ban you for smoking? No. No, TikTok doesn't ban you for smoking, it just restricts your life. I know everyone thinks for some reason that it bans you. It doesn't. I think it does if you smoke weed. I'm not willing to test it. Although, realistically, is there any way it would know? I mean, really? Did you finish Outlast? I did. I only had 5 minutes of it. I thought it was going to be a lot longer. I'd be doomed. You're live a lot these days, isn't it? Yeah. Been doing a lot of game streams, just because why not? Something to do. Only the eyes. You reckon? Not a bad thing, mate. Yeah. Rate your vids, man. You speak the truth. Thank you very much. I find weirdly find peace on your lives. Yeah, I'll take that. Could try Outlast too. Yeah, I've had a load of recommendations for other games. It's just, if I try to download more, it will crash the stream. As I found out the other day with Red Dead Redemption 2. Still haven't finished bloody installing that. Have you played Skyrim? No. My dad's obsessed with it though for some reason. Now, Outlast ain't as good as the first unless you're playing for the story. Oh, I see. Red Dead is amazing. Yeah, you've all recommended Red Dead to me, so I thought, you know what? I thought I'd get it. I don't know the first thing about it, so... You played that Warhammer game, just came out. What, Space Marine 2? I haven't, but I know people that have. Apparently it's good. I've seen a lot of people comparing it to... there's a weird rivalry. A forced rivalry between Space Marine 2 and Helldivers, which is weird to me because they're not the same. But Helldivers at the moment is my favourite game. Have you played Elden Ring? I haven't. You watching any TV at the moment? Admittedly, no. Who is Clown? Why do they comment so much? Clown is one of my oldest trolls. I let him hang around in here, but no one acknowledges him, just to make him feel special, because, you know, he never got over the fact that his dad left him. You smoke inside, or you got a window in front of you? Got a window in front of me. Hannah, how are you? This guy's just so cool. Thank you. I don't think it's possible, but PT demo for jump scare is unrivaled. Oh, really? What do you think of Cycling Mikey? He's a twat. I don't like him at all. Is that the famous Pepsi Max? No, it's apple and blackcurrant. No, I don't drink fizzy anymore. I would play Helldivers, but I prefer to play it with a group of people than by myself, you know? And I might not be able to see the chat. You're on the council juice tonight, Count? What do you mean by council juice? Hit me. You think new smoking laws will go through? Of course they will. I've also seen that they're thinking about pay per mile, which really, really pissed me off. No fizz, not even... Oh no, with alcohol. I'll have fizzy with alcohol, obviously, but I don't really drink that much anymore anyway. It's just too expensive. I'll have a cheeky beer every now and then. In fact, I might have a beer now. I haven't got work tomorrow. Fuck it. Let's have a beer. Let's have a beer. If I'm on the squash, I say I'm on the council juice, isn't it? No, fair enough. What beer are we talking about? The best beer in the world, as far as I'm concerned, Estrella Damm. I'm not much of a beer person, admittedly. I'm more of a cider person. Cider and spirits, but if you put Estrella in front of me, I'm happy. I need to find... What I really need to find is a pub that sells Estrella on draft. I found out recently one of my locals did Estrella on draft, so I started going. And then they took it off. I was fuming. Do you like Thatcher's? I haven't tried it. I'm on the Stella, best beer from a can. I'll agree to that, because I don't like Stella, but I'll drink it out of a can. It tastes different. I don't know if it's just because it festers or what. What's your favourite cider? Strongbow Dark Fruit. Or Strongbow Original with a dash of blackcurrant. That's fake dark fruit, but it's less acid. Excuse me. Definitely different from a can. Don't really drink it on draft. Yeah. Not a Copperberg fan? I do like Copperberg, but it gives me the runs. I know, TMI, sorry. Now, for some reason, when I was still finding what my drink was going to be, I settled on Copperberg for a bit. But always, after the third bottle, it would just fuck up my bladder. It's weird. It's a shame because Copperberg's delicious. Great, now I've got hiccups. Apparently war with Russia starting tomorrow. Yeah, I've heard that before. Plans for the weekend? I am going to the seaside for the weekend. It should be fun. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is going to do my nutting. Thoughts on Astro Kobe? I'm not a fan of him. Ever since he did that clickbait about a solar storm. Hang on a second. I need to try and get rid of these hiccups. Jesus. Okay, I think the hicks are gone. That's a tactic my mum taught me. It's never failed me. Breathe in through your nose, then out through your mouth. And do it again. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And do it a third time, but instead of breathing out through your mouth, you hold your breath for as long as you can, and you neck a bottle of water. Well, you drink as much as you can. Coppers gives me a weird headache. Oh, really? What's your favourite spirit? I'm partial to an old whiskey. Disaronno. Tastes like Dr. Pepper. Disaronno is my go-to. All those drinks count, you're going to be pissing all night. Yeah, probably not the best idea. Well, one beer is not going to do a great deal. So, I'm currently working, so I got you on mute, but I can see out the corner of my eye. You missed Slender, again, history. But I finished Outlast. All these drinks can be... Oh, already read that. Do you know Charlie Kirk or Jordan Peterson? I remember Charlie Kirk from 2017, 2018. Then he did something that really pissed me off. And I've ignored him ever since. I've got nothing against Jordan Peterson. It's got a good message. Stay in education. Look after yourself. What's your favourite sport? Fencing. I know. It's it's an unusual one. It's only because I used to do it. Wish there was a place around here where I could do fencing. I miss it. Well, I'd probably struggle now because in my old age at 29, not as fit as I used to be. I haven't got the stamina. What do you do for work? I develop a website for a tool hire company. Advice on the first telescope for a guy that hated science in high school but is obsessed at 31. Have a look at the Celestron telescopes. There's some pretty decent ones there. It depends on what kind of telescope you want. You can get one that's automatic, you know, you punch in the coordinates and bam, and it tracks. Or get what I've got, which is cheaper, cheerful manual, where you have to twist all the nozzles yourself. To be honest, I wish I had an automatic one. It's better for taking pictures. Is this Aura A star in further maths? Well, I failed maths. I failed most of my GCSEs because they lied to me when they said it was 60% coursework, 40% exams. I know everyone probably thinks that I was a shining student in school. I wasn't. I was a piece of shit. But it also didn't help that I'm not an exams person. There's a reason why I excelled in college with my diploma, because they were all BTECs, and the 2 GCSEs that I did that were all coursework and no exams, I aced. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not an exams person. Hey Karen, honestly, what makes you happy? I'm not sure. Seaside makes me happy. Believe it or not, making videos makes me happy. It's why I do it. It's not just a side hustle, it's also a hobby. Which seaside is your fave? There's a place in North Devon called Woolacombe. That's probably my favourite. I'm autistic, they thought they were smart, I'm now an alcoholic, I probably won't be here for long. No, don't say that. Don't say that. What's your nearest seaside? I think it's Southend. Yeah, I think it's Southend. Southend's about an hour's drive. Where do you hope to be in 10 years? Happily married? Maybe a couple of kids? Decent sized house? Stable income? I have my doubts of whether or not I'd be a good father. But I suppose everybody does. Everybody has those fears. I wouldn't want my kids to have the slight awkwardness that I have with my parents sometimes. And I've never been able to put my finger on what it is that causes it. Because my parents never did anything wrong. They were lovely people. It's just, there's something there. I don't know. You'd be class count. Thank you. Sometimes though, those fears are correct. Not everyone is meant to be a parent. Yeah, I've heard that. I could barely take care of myself, and the thought of being fully responsible for another living being, that's scary. But at the same time, I look at my nieces, I look at some of my friends with kids, and think, if they can do it, why can't I? You've got too much dad aura. Why do people keep saying that? What is it about me that projects dad aura? Like, be honest, because I really want to know. Who do you support? I support Man United, but I'm not that much of a football person. Only when it's international. So, if England plays, that's where my attention is. If Man United are playing, I might check the score on Google. I might watch it in the pub if it's on, but I don't go out my way to look for it, if you know what I mean. People are never truly ready, they just adapt to it well. That's true. Life doesn't come with instructions, as they say. And whenever the thoughts entered my mind, I just have to think to myself, every parent that there's ever been, they don't know what they're doing. They weren't born with the knowledge. They take every day as it goes. It's a hell of a journey, as they say. I think you have dad energy because you seem safe and not intimidating or aggressive. Yeah. I think that's where my relationship with my dad was a bit rocky as a child. Because he's a gentle soul, right? Completely harmless, but I don't know, I always found him intimidating. Like, I couldn't approach him with anything. You know? Thoughts on Ipswich? I try to avoid the place. I used to spend a lot of time there, but after I broke up with former Countess, I now try to avoid it. It's the facts and sharing of knowledge. Oh, thank you. You've got an old soul, and for many people that's very comforting. Oh, I'll take that. I usually get told I'm always angry. But as most of you have probably seen from my lives, I'm not actually angry. I've just got one of those voices. But you can easily tell from my body language and my facial expressions that I'm not actually angry. Any other countesses on the horizon? Potentially. We'll see. Someone stands out. Which war in history do you find the most interesting? It's not really a war because no bullets were fired. But the one for me is the Cold War for the political and ideological aspect, and the competition and the space race, things like that. Bad blood with countess? No. No. The only potential bad blood would be the fact that I ended things. And I won't lie to you, I don't feel good about it. And I never will. You know, nobody wants to hurt someone, ultimately. And the distance was too much for me to deal with over time, to the point where it made me feel less towards her. So, yeah. And when I finally did do it, it caused her an awful lot of pain. That's something that I'm never going to let that go. That's something that is going to take a while to surpass, because one of my best friends put it like this: the fact that you felt grief for someone else's pain, you're not a bad person. Like, I wish her all the best. Like, I've got nothing against her. She's a nice enough person. She'd make anyone happy. Anyone who is intelligent enough to see her. She's a lovely person. I've got no ill wishes against her or anything like that, or any vindictiveness or spite. I wish her all the best. But I had to do it. It's not like I cheated or anything like that. But the last time we spoke, which was literally the end of last month, still going to try and stay somewhat friends. Whether that sticks out or not, I don't know. Because I have a feeling once I've moved on, it'll be a hard pill to swallow, you know, for her. Why did you have to do it? Because it was eating away at me. I took a risk. Basically. I met her on here through TikTok. She saw my nuke video. I think she got sent it by a friend because she was panicking, or it was the other way around. She sent it to someone else who was panicking, something like that. I created the Count Daedalus Instagram. I put up a status one day. I think it said something like, what was it? How many people have you met? How many people have admitted that they had a crush on you? And I said, Before TikTok, maybe 2 people. After TikTok, and I just posted that emoji with the graph going up, and my DMs exploded. With women and men admitting it. I had to break quite a few hearts that day. Sorry lads, I'm straight. And one of them was former Countess. I took a risk doing a distance relationship, knowing full well that last time I did a distance relationship, it utterly ruined me. And then it was fine for a while. But as time went on, it got harder and harder and harder to the point where it was just too much. So yeah. You seem rough, bro. Honestly, I'm not. I went through the grieving process already. Been there, man. Be strong, mate. Oh, I am. Bro, you're always complaining. No, I'm not. Do you even know me? Adam say. No. I know who it was. It was my friend Colt that was taking the piss. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. I'm not always complaining. I'm not even complaining now. I'm just telling the story of what happened with me and the former Countess. Like, Jesus Christ. Clean your ears out, boss. Wish my beard was as good as yours. I'm going to trim it a little bit. This is a bit messy. I mean, look. Turn light on. Bright light. I think it's a bit messy. Like scruffy. Almost homeless. Are you wearing a jacket indoors? I'm wearing a body warmer. Oh. Webcam's not picking me up. Why is? There we go. I made it too dark by accident. Oops. But yeah. I like my body warmers, what can I say? I need to get some more. I wonder if I could get an Inglib body warmer, that would be nice. We asked and he told us. Exactly. Exactly. People asked a question, I answered it. What about this Diddy stuff though? I don't give a shit, I'm not gonna lie. Hope you find a Countess of your dreams. Yeah. I believe I will. Like I say, I've got my eyes on one at the moment. I've known this person for a long time. Would you ever have counts legally added to your name? No. No, I wouldn't. Don't turn to drink. I don't drink. I don't drink anymore like I used to. One beer, it's harmless. The last time I properly had a drink was the Euro final. That's the last time I went out and properly drank. Tell us about this potential cancer. No. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything because don't know how it's going to go yet. Too early, you know? Count got little crush. No, I wouldn't say it's a crush. It's just seeing how it goes. What do you think about quitting properly? What, drinking? I kind of already have. I don't go out and drink anymore. The last time I went to the pub, I volunteered to be the designated driver. It's just cheaper. Oh, smoking. I would like to. Because, yeah, it's another expensive habit, and it's not the healthiest thing in the world. And you know what they say, the sooner you quit, the better. The longer I decide to long it out, the more the damage is going to be permanent. Whereas I'm still 29, there's still a possibility I can reverse it. I mean, I've got myself an e-cig, so that's a start. But it's bloody strong. Have you tried snus? I haven't. Trouble is, my issue with smoking is I like the sensation. They're worse. No, they're not. There's been loads of media scare stories about vapes and e-cigs about how they're worse for you. It's mostly printed by tobacco salesmen. It's the same people that say, oh, weed is more dangerous than alcohol. There's alcohol salesmen that are saying that. And tobacco salesmen. And pharmaceuticals. 40 cigs in that vape. Yeah, if you sit here smoking it non-stop, which you can't really do because of the amount of nicotine that's in it, makes you go lightheaded. Snus is awful, it just burns your gums. I don't need that. Like I say, for me it's just a sensation. I will probably end up quitting cigarettes altogether at some point, but what I won't be quitting is Cuban cigars, but that's a rare treat for me. That's like 5 times a year. It's like birthdays, Christmas, that kind of thing. New Year's, etc. You're 29? Did you think I was older? It's amazing what a beard can make, how much of an effect a beard can have on someone's age in terms of their appearance. You look good for your age. Yeah, I get that a lot. But I think what does it is the fact that I don't have a receding hairline. Because that's usually what I get. It's like, bloody hell, you're 29. Look, when I've had my hair cut, they're like, bloody hell, you don't have a receding hairline at all. Nope, I've got good genes. It's the Italian in me. I'd say you look late 20s. There you go. 34, fucking hell. 36. Blimey. You seem like a cat person. I like both, to be honest, cats and dogs. I don't really have a preference. The trouble is, they represent both opposite ends of the extremes. Cats are too independent, and dogs are too dependent on you. I'd like something in between. House cat, basically. They can somewhat look after themselves. It's also a pet. What about foxes? They're a mix of dog and cat. Yeah, but they're also savages. I know. I've got a fox that regularly sleeps in my garden. I've nicknamed him Prince Harry. I've had him for a couple of years now. He's trouble is, I feel sorry for him because for ages now he's been suffering with mange. He's definitely been ravaging around in bins. Although I have to give the little guy credit. Recently, I have noticed when I've woken up early in the morning to go to work, I look out my window I see Prince Harry sleeping. And he's not alone. Yeah. Prince Harry is sleeping in my garden with Gal. I don't know what he's up to. Don't know what he's got planned. Prince Harry got game. Yeah, he has got game. Quite a pretty lass as well. I can't help but think to myself. No, I'm not talking about a woman. I'm talking about the fox that comes to my garden. I've nicknamed him Prince Harry because he's ginger. Although he's not ginger anymore because he's covered in mange. But I do have to ask the question. In the nicest possible way, that fox is very, very ugly with all that mange. So how the hell has it managed to pull such a clean specimen? Because the other one, because the one that's sometimes with him, looks like it bathes itself in fountains every day. Fox Riz must do. He must be really good at doing the nasty. Because flipping heck, he hasn't got the looks going for him. So he's either really ill, he's been attacked by bacteria and whatnot, which wouldn't surprise me because urban foxes aren't the cleanest thing in the world, or he keeps getting into fights. Probably because he's got himself a private garden sleeping. Yeah, probably. That's probably it, to be honest. He kind of has made my garden his little love nest. Every morning he's out there. Sometimes she's there, sometimes she's not. Maybe he gets her to do the hunting and he just sits there. Trad wife. No, I'm quite happy for him, to be honest, because when the first time, so I didn't used to drive. I used to ride my bike into work, and my bike was always in my garden. So there were times, about 3 years ago, where I'd have to wake up really early. It's still night. I have to go into my garden to get my bike, and then I just hear something at the bottom of my garden rustling, and it would scare the shit out of me. And so when the first time I saw that fox, I fucking hated him. I fucking hated him. But over time, he kind of grew on me, so I nicknamed him Prince Harry. Whereabouts do you live? Hertfordshire. I've fed him a few times as well. Go to Tesco's, buy some dog food, put it into a bowl, just leave it at the bottom of the garden, and he eats it. So, yeah, I've got a de facto pet fox. God forbid one day I wake up and there's a litter down there. Depends on the northeast. I've never actually been to the northeast. Furthest north I've been is the Lake District. Hey, I've never stroked him. I've never stroked him. I've never let him come anywhere near me. I've never let him touch me or anything like that. Just, ugh. If it was a few years ago before he was covered in mange, then maybe. But now, no. No. Honestly, the state of him, it's one of those situations where it's like, if he touches you, you'll feel like, okay, I can wash, but I'll never ever feel clean. You ever been to Birmingham? Nope. Never been to Birmingham. I don't have any plans to either. Mange. See the fox the other night. I heard they have rabies though, so I gave it 10 times. That's bollocks. That's actually bollocks. I'm pretty sure we eradicated rabies as a virus in this country. Don't get me wrong. Some foxes around here, they can have all sorts of nasties, but not rabies. What does mange look like? How do I describe it? Like, as if their fur's decaying. Like they've been in a fight, a really serious fight, and half their fur's missing. It's a bit like that. Or it's really... Yeah, like an infection on the outside of the body, exactly. There'll be bits of fur missing. Other bits will be black or brown. A bit like when a dog goes for a dip in the lake or the sea, where they just look they're just drenched. Kind of looks a bit like that. That's what mange looks like. Any way to help it? Probably, but you need a vet. You need to take it to a vet. Maybe, I don't know, maybe antibiotics? Maybe a wash? Like I say, this fox isn't actually my pet. He's just decided to occupy my back garden in the nights. So I like to think, because I fed him a couple of times, he probably would be willing to come up to me and just sniff and say hello. But I don't want him anywhere near me. Not with the state of that coat. Got bit by a cat in Indonesia, wasn't expected to start frothing in the mouth. Jesus. What do you think will happen with Lebanon now? I don't know, and I don't really care about Lebanon. It's not my country. It's that simple, really. Jesus. A hedgehog's full of fleas. I mean, I've never seen a hedgehog with fleas. Do you think we'd be dragged into war with them, though? Why would we? No. Serious question. Why would we be dragged into a war with them? What's the reason? What's the cause? What's the incentive? Unless you have ties to those countries, I generally don't understand why people are so invested. I don't know, because they... A lot of people just want to feel like they're doing something. I think that's what it is. I think some people just want to feel like they're doing something and, oh, I'm on the right side of history. Like, shut up. You haven't got a fucking clue. You read something on the twatters and suddenly you think you're all clued up. You haven't got a fucking clue. Why do you even care? Weird people. Yeah, weird people. It's like if Ukraine, if the Ukraine war wasn't constantly in the headlines, no one would give a shit about it. Okay, what was that? What do you think of Africa's economy? Which part of Africa? Because there's quite a lot of states in Africa. It's not a country. Me holding this flag will scare Israel. Yeah, they'll do it. Me changing my Facebook profile filter to a France flag, a French flag, will scare ISIS. Or putting Slava Ukraini as my Instagram status. That'll teach Putin. That'll teach Vladimir Putin and his homophobic Christian ways. It's just stupid. It's just stupid virtue signaling. That's all it is. I don't understand it either. What do you think about Europa, and will we ever go there? I mean, I think they've got a mission planned for Europa. That's for what it's going to do. I'm not actually sure myself. I still worry sometimes when I see about it online, but... Oh, what was that? But a lot of the time it's just scam. That's all it is. It's just people trying to get clicks. Makes me laugh even more because 99% of these people would crumble in the face of climate. Oh, they absolutely would. They absolutely would. I'd probably crumble as well, but I've got no shame in admitting that. So, yeah. I'm not ready to get drafted to fight for Ukraine or Israel. Nor would I want to. I'll take the prison sentence, thank you very much. I'm not going to fight for a country whose government arrests me and locks me up for tweets. Releases prisoners. Releases dangerous criminals. To free up prison spaces. To lock up people's grandmothers who post a spicy post on Facebook and then delete it immediately after. The count back on the assert? Yep. Are you atheist? Yes. They ain't our wars? Yeah, pretty much. That's basically me. It's not my country, not my war, not my problem. And the thing I usually say to people, because the people are, well, you don't care about this? Do they care about me? Would they care about me if something was happening to my country? Nope. They wouldn't give a shit. So it's the same with me. Also houses illegal migrants in hotels but cuts winter fuel payments for our own. That's the thing as well. Winter fuel payments wouldn't be necessary if we had sensible energy. I think it's like if there was what? I think it's 6 to 10. If we just built 6 to 10 nuclear power stations across the country, we would be an energy superpower. You wouldn't need winter fuel payments. It wouldn't be necessary because energy would be so fucking cheap. You know those stupid fan heaters you can get? The ones that utterly drain your electricity. The kind of things that your smart meter will be right down the bottom. You turn this thing on and it will suddenly be up in the red. You could put one of those things on for the whole day. If this country had 10 nuclear power stations, you could literally just leave one of those things running all winter. So many people are against nuclear energy. Only people that don't understand nuclear energy are against it. There's two types of people that I know who are against nuclear energy. People who don't understand it, and people who are green energy lobbyists or big oil lobbyists. The oil firms and the green energy firms and the climate change activists and politicians, they hate nuclear power because nuclear power would actually solve all of their problems. Exactly what Owen said. It doesn't make the government money. Exactly. That's all it is. Climate change is just the latest convenient crisis being used to shaft the working class. And it could be solved so easily. But they don't want that. They don't want nuclear power stations. They don't want hydroelectricity. They don't want tidal power. They don't want carbon capture and storage because all the green parties would suddenly have nothing to screech about. Those psyops that just stop oil would no longer have a job. The oil companies would be redundant. The green energy firms that are lobbying for ugly solar panels and disgusting, expensive, inefficient wind turbines would be redundant. They would all lose their jobs. And the climate scientists would also lose their jobs. So of course they don't want to. Oil companies have too much power to ever let that happen. It's not so much oil companies, it's green energy firms. Because I don't think a lot of people realise this. But the biggest investors in inefficient green energy, especially when it comes to solar and wind, the ones that don't work, it's backed by oil companies. Oil companies are constantly investing in solar and wind, the two most useless forms of energy out there in a country like the UK. Wind turbines, yes. Wind turbines that need to have backup diesel generators for when the wind isn't blowing. And solar panels that don't work at night, or when it's cloudy, or in winter when it's always pissing down with fucking rain in this country. You know where solar panels work really well? In space. Or in the desert. They work in the desert, but even then you're still faced with the problem of they're fucking useless at night. But, you know, you've got more, what's it called? You've got more sunlight in the desert. So, fill the Sahara with solar panels for all I care. They also work in space. Can you name the biggest car company in Czech Republic? No, I can't. Just Stop Oil was just another corporation like the BLM movement. Yep. Nuclear power is one of the best inventions we have ever had, but they keep shutting them down in the UK. Yeah, they do. From what I know, from what I've seen, with people's criticisms with nuclear power, is the ones that they go to are Chernobyl and Fukushima. And those two can very easily be cast aside. Fukushima happened because of an earthquake that created a tsunami. Now, I don't know if you guys know much about Japan, but Japan is a very geologically active place. It's probably not the best location for nuclear power, admittedly. But what about the UK? When was the last time we had a tsunami? When was the last time we had a colossal earthquake that caused a mega tsunami? Don't get me wrong, we've had some tremors here and there, but we've never had anything that's submerged parts of the country. So, that's Fukushima out the way. So we don't need to worry about that. And the second one is Chernobyl, which again is very easy to cast aside. The reason Chernobyl happened was because of communism. It's because the Soviet Union put party ideology over scientific reality and fact. So the solution to making sure another Chernobyl doesn't happen is make sure the only people that run and operate these nuclear reactors are the best and brightest that we have to offer. No party apparatchiks, no communists, no fascists, no religious zealots, nobody that's hired based on diversity and inclusion, just people who are based entirely on merit. Spamming gets you muted, mate. Shush. Chernobyl happened because of the lack of knowledge and the Soviets being quiet about their work. Yeah, the fact that they kept a fatal design flaw in the RBMK reactors a secret from the operators is a pretty significant problem. And then they spent the entire time denying how serious the problem actually was. They focus on really bad events and I think that's what happens even though it's safe here. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the best example is France. I hate to use France as an example because we all know how I feel about the French. But after Chernobyl happened, the French basically went, Huh. That nuclear power. It's not a bad idea. They based most of their energy around nuclear power. And so France is one of the most secure countries when it comes to energy. Because they just have nuclear power stations everywhere. Count, on one of your streams you smoked a Winston Churchill cigar, drink whiskey and talk politics. Can I? I mean, I can, but Winston Churchill cigars are really expensive. And I'm not a whiskey person. Not giving the train drivers their unneeded pay rise. What about the recent traffic crisis? What's that? What is that? You seem like the type to smoke cigars. That's because I do, just not very often because they're expensive. What is Treflioc? What the fuck is that? How did ideology get in the way of it? Really? How did ideology get in the way of it? What was the dominant ideology of Soviet Russia? Although your name is Lefty Bread. Morning, Jay. Oh shit, I suppose it is morning, isn't it? One of the only things France did right. Yeah. Should the energy be made public in the UK? I'm not against the idea of public-owned energy. It's just I feel like if energy was nationalised, although it's happening anyway, the government would just implement Just Stop Oil's energy policy tomorrow. Which is just stop everything immediately that isn't solar and wind. Keir Starmer looks like an Asda manager. Because he is an Asda manager. Do you have any interest in American politics? Not really. I have no interest in American politics whatsoever. Because a lot of American politics is just cringe. The only time I ever pay attention to American politics is if it affects us. So, geopolitically speaking, just to pick a name out of the hat. Because whatever the Americans do, we tend to follow, which is rather depressing. The French are smart, though, to be fair. Investing in the future by investing in productivity and energy. True. With a top hat and a monocle. No, I'm not doing that. No, absolutely not. I can't stand top hats, I'm not going to lie. That, you know when you see those TikToks of people, including footage of like people today versus people back then, that's one trend that I'm glad died. The top hat. Because they just look ridiculous, I'm sorry. Could bring back capes. Yeah, it's a meme, don't pay attention. Oh, okay. I am just going to ignore it then. Just first UCL game, not too bothered. What's your profession, or do you rely on social media? I do marketing and content writing for a tool hire company. I'm anti-USSR. Well, that's a start. That means you're anti-communism. I'm more worried about creativity and styles. Oh. Oh, you're talking to each other. They're eating the dogs, you know, and the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. I'm not gonna lie, I do love the AI pictures of Donald Trump just rescuing cats. Oh, you're a centrist. I'm a liberal. What brand of cigarettes do you smoke? Golden Virginia. Or Golden Vagina, as I like to say. My daughter is asking me if Zelensky is the richest comedian who ever lived, more than wrote. Don't know if he's the richest comedian. He's definitely got a lot of money. All of American politics is they're battling over 20-year-old they're battling over 24-year-old streamers. Accurate. What's your favourite political party ever from any era? I don't have one. I saw that UK Village funded their own wind turbine. I know, it's kind of embarrassing. What about investing in developing tidal/wave power? I'm completely for it. Tidal is one of the 3 energy sources that I keep on bigging up. Tidal, hydroelectricity, and nuclear. No, that's anti-Leninism. You should really read up on communism. The USSR wasn't communist by Marx. Oh, here we fucking go. Another communist defender. That wasn't real communism. Yes, give me fucking strength. I used to be a fucking Stalinist, mate. You're preaching to the fucking choir. I hate to disappoint you, but you're going to have to accept it. Never in the history of the human race has a state withered away, nor is it ever going to wither away. I hate to break it to you. There was even a point when, once Vladimir Lenin had been in power for a while, he himself even realised that socialism and communism was a load of bollocks, because the workers were shit. They actually needed some managers. They needed people that know what they're doing. So he created a new economic plan, which was essentially social democracy with extra steps. And then the guy who used to admire more than anything, Joseph Stalin, came in and went absolutely ballistic. Went absolutely ballistic. Thoughts on Egghead Millipede's energy plans? They're shockingly bad, is what they are. Like I say, there's no difference between Ed Miliband's policies and his fetish with solar power than just stop oil at this point. Golden Virginia, good choice. Thank you. What does liberal/democrat mean? Oh, I didn't say I'm a liberal democrat. God, liberal democrats are a party. I've got no allegiance to them whatsoever. They're European Unionists for a start. And they supported lockdowns. I'm a liberal in the classical sense. I believe in democracy, freedom of speech, individual rights, blind justice, economic freedom, secularism, and self-reliance. Last Stalinist, I didn't understand communism. Cope. Ultimate cope from someone whose ideology keeps on failing. Like I say, nowhere ever has a state withered away, and unfortunately, unpopular opinion, but extreme libertarianism/anarchism is a stepping stone from totalitarianism. All it takes is one charismatic leader or one organised militia/gang working in Mexico. Mexico has a state. It's a Leninist ideal. No, it's a communist ideal. That's the end goal of communist theory. I think it's you that doesn't understand communism. Which is kind of tragic because you call yourself, what's it, lefty bread. Are you related to Isaac? No. Zapatistas in Mexico. You might want to recheck that. Still part of Mexico, which still has a state. I'm using no count. History! Like that Mustache man, he's a great example of good speaker, bad ideas. Exactly. All it takes is one charismatic leader, and then you're going to end up slowly stepping into totalitarianism. That's the danger of anarchism. You look like Daniel Radcliffe, really? I haven't said that before. If there's a thing you could do to the current state of the world, what would you do? I don't even know where to begin, to be honest. How many political systems are there? A lot. Did you complete Outlast? Yes, I did. I completed Outlast within 10 minutes of the stream. So I played Slender for a bit. Had the living shit scared out of me. And then, yeah. Now I'm just chatting. Also, history. We've got a communist in the stream. No, they're still going. They're not part of Mexico. Yes, they are. The Zapatista Army of National Liberation, often referred to as the Zapatistas, is a far-left political and militant group that controlled a substantial part of territory in Chiapas. Controlled. Still control, except it's not. You know what to do with communists. Go on in history, what would you do with communists? Educate me. Where else are you streaming, mate? Just here. Just TikTok. Helicopter, helicopter. TikTok. History, didn't we establish in a podcast episode that he what's it called, that Augusto Pinochet didn't actually do the helicoptering? I want to get count stream on YouTube. Trouble is, the audience just isn't there. Do you agree with the funding for Ukraine to combat Putin's aggression? No, I don't. Because it's not actually combating anything, it's just prolonging the war. Zelensky, unfortunately, is going to have to face the reality that He's never going to get the Donbass region back. Because the Donbass region, after 2014, so 10 years ago, erupted into civil war and was being shelled by the Ukrainian government for ages. You know, what's his end goal? What's his end goal once he gets those territories back? Wasn't that due to the coup in 2024? More or less, yeah. There was a coup in 2024 that removed the, albeit corrupt, but democratically elected leader in Ukraine at the time. And then eastern Ukraine, that is predominantly Russian-speaking, was very mad. The narrative was that it was just Russian separatists. And if it was just Russian separatists, then the vast majority of the Ukrainians would have kicked them out. Be a bit like if you had, I don't know. Trying to think of a good example. But for Western context. Here's one. So it'd be a bit like, say, an area of the UK. But you've got a large group of, I don't know, ISIS sympathisers, just to pick one out the hat. They decide, right, this region of the UK, let's say, I don't know, let's say West Yorkshire, just to pick one out the hat. We're declaring this an independent from, what's it called? Independent from the UK. So, do you really think that the citizens of West Yorkshire are going to put up with that? Where's my light gone? Bear with me. Bear with me. I just need light. No, I don't, because my camera's being stupid. Great. Tell you what, bear with me a second. Bear with me. Camera. I don't know why TikTok does this sometimes. I think it might be a camera related problem. Camera. I don't know why TikTok does this sometimes. I think it might be a camera related problem. But for some reason, sometimes my camera just decides, you know what, I don't feel like working anymore. I'm just going to switch off just because I can. Yeah, I've seen that history. I've seen it. What music are you into? I mean, just into just about anything really that isn't screeching death metal or dubstep. Remember when everybody had Ukraine flags in their usernames? Yeah, people still do. So people who have Israeli flags or Palestinian flags or watermelons and red arrows to show their allegiance to either side. It's like, well, it's nice to know that, it's nice to know who I can and cannot have a reasonable discussion with. You can't just ignore my points when you've got proven wrong. What the fuck are you talking about, mate? It's just not as substantial before Wikipedia, by the way. Thinks he knows everything about them. I actually read an article, but okay. Keep coping. Had a feeling TikTok would hit you with the warning for smoking. Nah, I'm used to it now. It's just a warning. They don't Everybody thinks for some reason that you get banned for smoking on TikTok. You don't. You just get the substance warning. How did you find Outlast? Not as scary as I thought it would be, I'm not going to lie. It was a bit of a ball ache as well. I did enjoy it though. I'll definitely try Whistleblower. Definitely be trying the DLC. How do you become immortal? You've got to find the fountain of youth, mate. Do you think Farage will make a good Prime Minister? I have no idea. Lately, he's not been giving off leadership material. Seems to do a lot of running away. Northern Ireland's another example. Cheers, Count. I've got family in Exeter. Would you mind explaining in simple terms what being a liberal is? Basically means that you support the it's basically support the ideas of individual rights, civil liberties, free enterprise, democracy, secularism, individual rights, obviously. Yeah, I've lost my track of thought. So, individual rights, civil liberties, democracy, freedom of speech, blind justice, secularism, I'd say. TikTok streamer is so useless compared to OBS. I'm sure it is. That's what it traditionally meant to be a liberal, but lately a lot of liberals, particularly in America, because they call them liberals, I don't see them as liberals personally. Bloody hell, thank you, Grim. Thank you so much. They've become obsessed with equality rather than freedom. Bloody hell, you're being really kind today, Grim. Thank you very much. Given most people who have Ukraine and Russian flags and names are usually bots, true. Whistleblower is scarier, in my opinion. How would you know? You barely got past Thanos in Outlast. Have you played the second Outlast? No, not yet. He gave up reform leadership, didn't he? No, I don't think so. Most people don't want freedom, they want comfort. True, they do. Hang on a second, I need a pee. I've just realised something, guys. I'm going to the seaside tomorrow and I haven't even fucking packed. I'm going to the seaside for the weekend and I haven't done any packing whatsoever. Not good. Not good at all. You lot have been distracting me, so I'm holding you lot personally responsible if I forget something. Most people don't want freedom, they want comfort. Yeah, people want order rather than freedom. I would say Bill Maher is a liberal. A lot of people in the US are just Marxists parading as liberals. Also true. Why can't we have a left-wing government? We had 14 years of a right-wing one. There's nothing. There's been nothing right-wing about the last 14 years. There's nothing small government, leave you alone. The government taking less money out of your paycheck for the last 14 years. I can tell you that right now. Trouble is, left and right doesn't. The old dichotomies of left wing and right wing have sort of become almost irrelevant at this point, because what's become more relevant is whether someone's authoritarian or libertarian. What we've had is 27 years of neoliberal Blairite rule. Princess Tony Blair came to power in 1997 and radically changed the direction this country was going in. The Tories came in and decided they were going to continue that, whilst throwing out red meat and pretending that they were being right-wing and doing the exact opposite. If you want an example, look at how well they controlled the borders. What's PewDiePie? Paid whistleblower. So liberalism is good, but it gets used and often misplaced now. Liberal rights being taken, etc. Exactly. What game are you playing after this? I don't know. I'm not sure. The UK needs a nationalist party in power. I consider myself a nationalist, a liberal nationalist. Again, the old school definition of the word nationalism. Because these days, nationalism is just associated with imperialism and supremacy and all the rest of it. And it's like, no, absolutely not. I believe in the existence of the British nation state. I believe that the democratic process is the only legitimate way of running this country, and the only people that should be running this country are those whom the public, the citizens of the country, choose to represent them. That's the old school definition of what it means to be a nationalist. And the furthest my liberal nationalism goes is, I'm not a multiculturalist at all. It's like, no, we're a free Western liberal society. You will integrate, you will become British, you will adopt our values. If you don't, get out. Simple as. You will respect, you will abide by our rules. You will abide by our traditions and our secular principles. You will be kind to other people based on the content of their character, not the colour of their skin or their race or their religion. And again, if you don't like it, get out. Brexit weakened the UK borders. Brexit didn't, the Tories did. That's a lie that James O'Brien's been pushing out. What Boris Johnson did in his infinite wisdom, he campaigned to take back control. He got that control, and then he made the bars for entry into the UK even easier than they already were. But because we had it, we're in a position where we could change it so that the terms for getting in could be really high. It just so happens that we've had government after government after government that wants to continue the Blairite dream of getting as many people into the country as possible and ask questions later. And I'm not against the idea of people coming to the country. I think it's a good thing. It's how my mother and my grandmother came to this country. They were born in Italy. They migrated over here. They integrated, became British. Well, my nan hasn't. She's still got the thick Italian accent, but my mother, she's almost forgotten her Italian. However, 1.2 million people a year, a city the size of Birmingham, is outrageous. Karen, what's your favourite fictional book? Oh, you don't want me to answer that. What party do you want to see thrive in Parliament? The Social Democrat Party UK. SDP UK. Karen, what's your actual name? Daedalus. I love your vids, man. Keep up what you're doing. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thatcher was the one who introduced neoliberalism. Yeah, a lot of people like to say that. She was the one who continued on from the previous government of closing down all the mines and deciding that this country was going to be a financial hub instead of a manufacturing hub. I don't think she was a neoliberal. I think she was just a hardline conservative. What do you think of Irish unification? I don't know, to be honest, because I think that Dublin looks at Northern Ireland the same way Westminster and Brussels do. They don't actually care about the people that live in Northern Ireland. They just see it as a political football. So I want Northern Ireland to become its own independent state. Fuck Dublin, fuck Westminster, and fuck Brussels. Self-determination. Let's not even go there with James O'Brien. What a hideous quote-unquote journalist. Yeah. I rang him up a few years ago. He put the phone down on me. I wish I recorded it. Actually, I think I did. I just don't know where it went. Brexit could have been more successful had the government since 2016 been competent. True. Rather annoyingly, and I said this at the time, if David Cameron was a true statesman, and this is how you tell whether or not someone's a good statesman. If David Cameron had any sense, he would have said, right, I campaigned to remain. I went to the European Union, I asked for nothing, and I got even less than nothing, and then made it out that we'd got a new deal. I lost the referendum, I hold my hands up, I'm still captain of the ship. The people have spoken, I'm going to implement it. A true statesman would have listened to the people and just got on with it. But no, he ran for the hills and started becoming a hedge fund manager for Chinese companies, along with that dirty little weasel Gideon Osborne. And he somehow became a lord. How? Oh yeah, I know how. Because Princess Tony Blair made it possible. What's your opinion on Asians? What kind of a question is that? We should do Ali G immigration. We've got too many mingers, so let in the fit bird. So I don't know about that. That's a bit sus. And there are people who came and grew up here that, like many Brits, struggle to find work as Brits do. Exactly. It's not fair on them either. Which is why my criticism of immigration policies is not to migrants themselves, it's to government. If I was in another country and it was this easy to come to the UK, I'd fucking do it. You'd be stupid not to. Well, you come to a country, potentially get a job, get paid less than minimum wage, but it's still more than what you would have earned in your other country. I'd fucking do it. I don't fucking blame them. It's like I'd do exactly the same thing in their position. But that doesn't mean it should happen. That doesn't mean it should be allowed to happen. Make Charles absolute monarch. No. Self-determination, but what does that truly mean in geopolitics when borders still change via war? You're an independent state. Border stays the same. And what's the Irish Republic going to do? Invade Northern Ireland if it decides to become an independent state? Do you know how many people that's going to piss off? England needs an English monarchy. No, what the monarchy needs is some actual power. I have a proposal. I'd like you all to hear me out. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. In fact, might do a poll on it after. History, get the poll ready. What I think... So, when an election has been concluded, and whoever's got the most votes, most seats, they have to go to the king and ask the king for permission to form a government. King says yes, you go form the government. What I think should happen is when the king grants them permission to form a government, they are bound by their manifesto promises, no matter what. And if that party breaks one of their manifesto pledges or goes back on just one, an immediate snap election is triggered. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of elections, but it will make governments think twice about fucking over the people and lying to the people to get power. And because I remember someone brought this up at one point, if there's a crisis and you need to raise tax or whatever, and your manifesto said that you weren't going to raise taxes, but you have to because of crisis, that still breaks the pledge, even if it's a crisis. So my response to that would be, you better sell that to the public. Simple as that. If you feel like that there's a crisis and you need to raise taxes, even though you said you wouldn't, then you better get your speeches ready, because there's going to be an election and you've got to sell that to the public. It's that simple. What do you think? Do you agree with my suggestion about giving the king that one bit of power, or do you not? By all means, vote on the poll. People forget that politicians aren't meant to enjoy their job in the slightest. It's a duty. Exactly. That's exactly where I'm going with this. Politicians are supposed to serve us, but they seem to be dictating to us more than anything. What if the king in the future is a freak? Well, then you just chop his head off like we did before. I feel like the Troubles just ignore actual concerns in Northern Ireland, poorest country in the UK. It's not even that. It's the fact that I actually have sympathies for independence movements in the UK, because I've spoken to a few people who are sympathetic to them. And when I say people who want independence, I'm not talking about pathetic, wishy-washy SNP, leave Westminster, immediately join Brussels in the European Union. So you become independent for 5 seconds and you immediately become a vassal state again. I'm talking about people who actually want to be an independent, self-governing nation. The one thing that I've realised over the years is that a lot of the issues that the hardline nationalists have, the English have the exact same complaints. The difference is who's to blame. So, people who want to leave the UK and rejoin the European Union, they're not nationalists, they're European Unionists, so let's get them out of the way. When I say nationalists, I mean the people who want an independent state. They blame England for all of their problems. England has the exact same issues as they do, but they blame London for all of their problems. So, the problem isn't England, the problem is London, Westminster. They don't give a shit about anything outside of the M25. In fact, they don't give a shit outside of anything outside of Westminster. They just don't care. They don't care about anything outside of their gated communities. They do not give a flying toss. I live within the M25 and I'm still living in an absolute shitscape. Like, it's taken the fucking council 3 years to fix a pothole on my road that was... It looked like a meteor had hit it. It took them... God... For ages, I wanted them to fix that fucking pothole. They can't even do that. So yeah, the problem is Westminster, not England. England has the English have the exact same criticisms of Westminster as the Scots do, and the Welsh and the Northern Irish. And it's disgusting because the UK is supposed to be a union. But the central government doesn't give a flying toss about the union. So really, the only thing that can save this union is a massive, massive shake-up in Westminster, a federal system, a true federalised system, or independence. That's all there is to it, really. "100% agree, the last Tory government should have had a monarchy step-in procedure." Yeah, they should have done, especially considering the Tory leadership voted for Liz Truss and she was ousted in a coup by Rishi Sunak, launched by the big banks and all of the social media firms and all of the media firms, all the media outlets, all the presenters, the establishment left and right, to get rid of her because, well, they wanted Rishi Sunak. The Tory membership got it wrong, so they deliberately undermined her. Okay, so the poll comes back. I think it's a landslide in favour of yes. Happy days. All government officials should use government programmes. Hot take, we should actually elect actual working / common educated people in Parliament instead. Yes. English people feel was represented by government as nationalists in Northern Ireland. Not at all. Exactly. You live in Cornwall. No, I don't. Sargon and Dankula converted me to a monarchist. You're too easily led, history. That's your problem. Can you honestly see global food shortages? If the assault on farming continues, then yes. The monarchy should be used more its advantage as they're born to rule and therefore actually care. The trouble is when a monarch gets a little bit too big ahead. But then it just goes splat. That's the only downside. You live in Milton Keynes, don't you? I told you I live in Hertfordshire. Thoughts on Elon Musk? I mean, I like what he's doing with SpaceX and space exploration. Having monarchy intervene isn't even anti-democratic if they call snap elections. It's more... Yeah, exactly. Like I say, it'll be purely based on if a party wins an election, they have to ask the king to form a government, which is something they have to do. That's how it's always been. The king binds them to their manifesto pledges. That's it. And if they break those pledges, it's an immediate election. What's the issue with farming? Well, there's a programme that started under our glorious leader Rishi Sunak, to pay farmers to retire and sell off their land to the government. That's one of the things. On the continent, they're assaulting farmers by putting outrageous regulations in place in the name of saving the planet, which again is causing them to close up shop. Often big firms buy up these plots of land to either build huge housing estates on, or to cover with solar panels and wind turbines. There was an awful lot of protesting going on, it's particularly in France and the Netherlands, with the farmers last year. Actually, it might have been this year. I can't remember, it was one of the two. If Irish independence did happen, what do you think would happen between the North and the South? I don't know. I'm not saying absolute monarchy, I'm just saying along the lines of what Count said. What do you think of Labour cronyism? Well, it was bound to happen, wasn't it? When you get a majority as big as they do, even though they won a minority amount of the votes, when you get that much that many seats in Parliament, it's inevitable that you're going to become cocky and arrogant. It just didn't take very long for them to do it. What do you think of the early release system? Completely against it. India has big farmers protest too. Yeah, they do. The early release system, completely against it. India has big farmers protest too. Yeah, they do. Bangladesh had one as well, didn't they, recently? Do you think letting Labour in was a mistake? Yeah, what absolutely was. In fact, it wasn't a mistake. It's what happens when you keep on having a two-party system as your default alternative. That's the only reason Labour won. It's because they're the default alternative. I keep on banging the drum that people should be voting for what they believe in and not for the lesser of two evils bollocks, because a lesser evil is still an evil. Opinion on the SNP, considering what they've done, free buses, prescriptions, child payment. Yeah, who's paying for that? England. England's paying for all of that through the Barnett formula. So who did you vote? I didn't, because the guys I wanted to vote for weren't standing in my constituency. I had the choice between Tory, Labour, Lib Dem, Green, Reform, and a crazy unhinged independent, and all he cared about was fucking Gaza. Yeah, it's like, that's nice, mate, Gaza, but how does that affect me? How does that affect me in Hertfordshire? Oh wait, it doesn't. Well, I'm not going to vote for you then. Regulations should be put in place to prevent private equity firms to buy massive amounts of land. That's a start. Should we change to PR? Yes. Another thing I've been banging the drum about. My ultimate goal with politics isn't to get someone elected. It's to get the voting system repealed and changed to proportional representation. I think it's outrageous that, what was it? Reform UK was the third largest party by vote share, and they got, what was it, 5 seats? The Greens got 7. Let me get the fucking graph up again. Let me get the I want to be accurate on this. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, Reform got 16.9% of the vote and got 5 seats. That's outrageous. Greens got 4.7%. I can't remember how many seats they got. But it wasn't representative. That's all I remember. Oh wait, no. Could tell I'm falling asleep. I got it wrong, hang on. I just want to see them by vote share, for fuck's sake. Where is it? 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 Okay, so Labour got 33% of the vote and got 66% of the seats. That's out. That is just mind-blowing. Reform got 14%, got 5 seats. Green Party, 6%, only got 4 seats. How is that representative? No one can explain it to me. The fact that people view Farage as the alternative is an indication of how sad the UK is politically. The alternative is the alternative as far as I'm concerned. It's one of many. Because Reform split the vote in Tory-held constituencies allowed gain, but yeah, that's how you gain more seats. But that's not how you represent people. You look at most constituencies out there. By vote share, with the first past the post voting system, you end up with minority representation. Winner takes all. What that means is that whoever has the most amount of votes in the constituency wins, even if the most amount of votes cast for that party was 20%. 80% of people who voted in that constituency wanted someone else in charge. That's not representative. It's minority rule. It's minority representation. Is there a country that carries out a fair voting system, in your opinion? As much as I want the organisation itself completely destroyed, the European Parliament has a decent one. They have a fairly accurate PR system. They have a fairly accurate form of proportional representation, which I think is ideal. Why has Nigel Farage given up leadership of Reform UK? Wait, is this ownership or is this leadership? Is he still leading it? Oh, here we go. Unlike most political parties, Reform was established as a private limited company with Raj holding the majority of shares. I didn't know it was a private limited company. He said this is done to fast track the creation of Brexit Party, now Reform UK, it's time for victory, blah blah blah. The company structure also allowed him to stop the party being hijacked by bad people, fair enough. The Clacton MP will continue to be Reform UK's leader, but said, I no longer need to be in control of Reform, so I'm surrendering all of my shares. No, he's still leading it. So he's still leading it, but he doesn't own it anymore. So basically, Reform UK was set up as originally as a limited company. So this is classic clickbait again, really. He's giving up ownership of it, so he doesn't own it anymore, but he's still leader. Why do you always refer to Blair as Princess Tony? I can't help it, to be honest. It's become a habit. Because he is a little princess, isn't he? Should there be laws against second homes? No. I don't think there should be. It isn't representative, I agree, but then people need to demand change. Yeah, they do, which is why I keep on telling people to stop voting for the two-party system and vote for what they believe in. Because what I really want to see one day is another situation like what we had in the last one. But the majority of votes are cast for third parties, essentially. So, for example, 57% of votes cast in the election earlier on this year were for the two parties. In an ideal situation, that percentage would be for minor parties, third party, independents. That's where I'm going with this. There are no real numbers on where Scotland's budget comes from, the English or Scotland. I've seen a few over the years. I don't have them to hand. Nigel Farage is based in Belgium and doesn't even respond to people from his own constituency. Well, that's a load of bollocks. He's not in Belgium. He hasn't been in Belgium for a couple of years. He's not an MEP anymore. Do you play League? No. Oh, so he's still leading. I thought he was setting up and moving on. Yeah, that's what I thought. When they said that he didn't own it anymore, I thought, what, has he left? Is he an independent MP now? Is he going to call a snap election in Clacton? But no, Reform UK was set up as a limited company apparently, and he had all the shares in it. He's given that up. That's all he's done. He's still leader. So he could get voted out if the members hate him. Yeah, if he does a shit job in Clacton, which from what I've seen so far, from being to Clacton, it seems to be thriving quite well. So he must be doing something right. But I don't know, I don't live there. James O'Brien took him downstairs. Oh, I seriously doubt that. Not because of Nigel Farage, but because of James O'Brien. He can't take down anything. All he does is uphold the current neoliberal paradigm. I'd like to know who would win if there was an election this week. Well, let's have a look, shall we? What's YouGov saying? YouGov voting intention. Apparently 39% of people in this... Oh no, that's in July, dickhead. Is there another one? Is there a more recent one? I don't think there is. No. That's annoying. All I've seen is that their approval rating has absolutely tanked, which is nice to see. If you look at the history of Reform/Brexit Party, the first leader was racist, so it makes sense he did this. Nigel Farage was the first leader of Reform/Brexit Party. Then it went over to Mr. Tice, who constantly bent the knee to a far-left extremist organisation called Hate Not Hope. We need a new party separate from Reform, Tories and Labour. I mean, I've got one. It's called the SDP UK. But I guarantee no one's ever heard of it. Have you spoke about Reform's ghost MPs? Ghost MPs? What do you mean by that? Unless you mean the guy who slightly edited his picture or whatever it was. I was about to say, I've seen all five of them. I've seen all five of them sat next to each other, holding hands in the House of Commons. Not literally holding hands, but you know what I mean. The poll of polls has Labour on 33, the Tories on 21, Reform on 20. YouGov need to update more. Yeah, they do. Catherine, whatever that last name is, actually founded it with Farage, I think, maybe wrong. Former UKIP, I believe. That was last on 29th of August, so it's probably not right. Yeah, probably not. Reform made exceptional progress considering it was their first term. Yeah, they made a lot of progress in the Labour heartlands, which was entirely predictable, to be honest, because that's what happened in 2015 with UKIP. That it was working class traditional Labour voters who were voting for UKIP, not far right loons, as ex-Tories, as people liked to make out at the time. And it's the same thing that's happened now. It's just disgruntled working class Labour voters. When you're going to run for MP, I'm not going to. It's too expensive. Do you support violent protest? No. I believe in a democratic process and pressure. I know it's in the US, but what do you think about reparations for slavery? It's a stupid idea. Because nobody who is a victim of slavery is alive today. It's just a form of Gibbs. In meme culture, it's called Gibbs. Please, Gibbs, free monies. None of those people, none of the people demanding it had anything to do with it. They just loosely say, oh, my family was a victim of it, blah, yada, yada. Yeah, you just want free money. You just want free money. That's all it is. What's your thoughts on the riots that happened like a month ago? Entirely predictable. It was going to happen at some point. But I don't support violent disorder. What should our response to Israel's exploding phones be? Why should we have a response? It's not our problem. I generally like your content, mate. It's been really informative. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Why should we have a response? It's not our problem. I generally like your content, mate. It's been really informative. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Starting my politics degree soon. Do you have any advice before I start? Keep an open mind. You're bound to get some people trying to brainwash you. You're bound to get some people trying to brainwash you and fill your mind with all sorts of crap. So, yeah. Best bet is keep an open mind. World without Israel is a much safer place. Is it though? I think you're giving Israel far too much credit. It's about as accurate as the kind of people that say, oh, a world without nuclear weapons is a safer place. Is it though? Thoughts on everyone being equal in terms of wealth? How is that possible? That will cause all sorts of problems in itself. Do you think the UK shouldn't get involved in issues in the Middle East? Exactly. It's not our countries. It's not our problem. Get out of there. I'm very much a non-interventionist. Are you religious? No. Do you think... Oh, I already read that. What time are we live till tonight, Count? I was just thinking that. Oh, shit, I need to turn my fucking alarms off. Otherwise I'm going to wake up at bloody 7. Actually, no, 5:15. Jesus. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do you think Hezbollah will strike back? Hezbollah is probably shitting bricks right now. If there's one... I have to give Mossad credit. They took out one of Hamas's leaders right next to the Iranian president as he was being inaugurated. And they've successfully taken out a bunch of Hezbollah militants. They've shown that just how deep they've infiltrated other countries. And I think it's kind of a statement. I think it's them basically saying, look, this is how far in we are with you lot. We could go a lot further, we just haven't. I don't know. Mossad are incredibly sophisticated in their operations. I'd be shit scared. Yeah, I would as well, to be honest. I'd be fucking terrified if I was opposed to them. Israel said it's okay if you don't like us, but don't fuck with us. That's basically what they did. You know, that's probably the most direct targeting of your opponents that's ever been done in military history. You made phones and walkie-talkies that belong to your enemies explode and kill them. Sure, you did collateral damage for people that were around them, as is the case of war, but you targeted the people you specifically wanted to target. The greatest act of sabotage. Exactly. Probably the greatest act of sabotage that's ever been done. Yeah, if I was Hezbollah or Hamas, I'd be shitting buckets right now. Predictions on when the next world war. There's not going to be another next world war. Right, I need to get some sleep. I've got a long drive tomorrow. So, I'm going to head off. 2 hours, 22 minutes. That's not too bad, I suppose. Thank you so much, everyone who sent gifts. Thank you so much, everyone, for sticking around. And it's been a nice chat. People of Gaza will live on forever. Well, no, everyone has to die at some point. Immortality isn't a thing, unfortunately. But yeah. Have a good one, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you all soon. Take care, everybody.